Your home, your possessions, everything you own is swept away. Then you find more than $48 million lying around in unclaimed, untraceable, cold, hard cash. So what do? We'll have that story next. Then the Jetsons finding a new home in China. Take a look, a city straight from the future, not far from Beijing. Nadia Bilchik joins me now for our morning passport. So Nadia, before the break, I talked about first responders and search and rescue crews in Japan who were cleaning up after the earthquake. They found about $48 million in untraceable cash. I mean, this is obviously a place that is cleaning up, to say the very least, you know, and it's an awful situation what's going on there. They could have kept this cash.
Isn't that true?
So what did they do? I'm guessing they didn't keep it.
No, they didn't. They handed it back to the people. And you said untraceable, not totally untraceable, because particularly when it came to the safes, there were about 57,000 safes that were found. And in it were the bank books and the land registry and the title deeds. So that was returned. But what's extraordinary is the bags, purses and wallets that were found. And of those, people found cash, and literally 85% of the cash that was found has been returned.
To whom, though?
To people that they found identity in the wallets, in the purses. But doesn't it say so much about Japanese culture?
It's extraordinary.
Going back to just the Japanese culture, and people who know the Japanese say this extraordinary kindness towards each other.
And honesty.
And honesty, yes. So from cities that are rebuilding to a city in China that is being built, as you said. Now, last week we brought our viewers the story of an eco-city outside of Beijing, about 100 miles outside of Beijing. It's called Tianjin City. And it is really the first eco-city of its type in the world.
And we actually have a mock-up of what it looks like, or will look like,
What it will look like. The models are there.
We could see it.
But what's remarkable is we had an architecture firm contact us once they saw the piece last week. Kevin Cannon's office called us and said, we loved your piece. And in fact, Kevin Cannon is designing one of the towers for the Eco-City.
Wow, that's extraordinary.
So the first choice was the very famous Chinese-American architect, I.M. Pei.
Right.
And he couldn't do it, so Kevin Cannon has designed this sustainable, what he calls a biophilic design. Have you ever heard
so what
the
does
term
it, no,
biophilic?
I haven't. So what does it entail?
It means, biophilic means man's sensitivity to nature. So have a look at the tower there.
Wow.
He says it's inspired by the growth of bamboo. And you'll also notice that it's got double-paneled glass, and that makes it very eco-friendly, very sustainable, very energy efficient. Why? Because what happens then is in cold weather, it maintains heat, and in hot weather, it maintains being much more cool. So you have this remarkable tower designed by an American architect in the middle of Tianjin City, and we'll be following this eco-city, first of its kind in the world.
It's extraordinary. When I was back in North Korea in October, I stopped through Beijing on the way, and I have to say I was very struck by how modern Beijing was. The hotel that I stayed in was among the most beautiful that I've ever stayed in my entire life. The malls looked like Madison Avenue in New York. It was extraordinary. So it doesn't entirely surprise me that this is happening 100 miles from Beijing, but thank you for that story.